Hi guys, my name's Claire. I'm a single parent, single mum in Northamptonshire. I don't know if you've watched my previous video, but this is kind of a follow-up, and I want to introduce you to my extended family, which I like to call them. This is Anton, and this is Callum. They are from a company called Jim. I couldn't tell you if it's funded or whatever. I just know that they've been my saviour for the last two years. 2 years. So I was introduced after screaming for years that I needed a strong, black, rebellious, naughty, black male that has turned himself around and made a good life for himself. And I needed that for my son to look up to. And I was introduced to Anton. Anton has been my saviour. He's been my lifeguard, my life support, literally my lifeline. If you're out there and you're struggling with your kids, I strongly recommend you get in touch with these guys. They're on Instagram, they're on Facebook. I can put a number up, whatever you need. I don't know if you need to go through social services to get his help. I don't know, but Anton can tell you. Anton's not a miracle worker, but Anton is there to talk to, help you get through your day, because I've had some really bad days. Some days I couldn't get out of bed. But if I knew Anton was coming and I needed to vent, he was my man. Anton now regards me as family, and I love that, because it's like, Anton's a good guy, and Anton's been there, he's done it, he's been close to death and jail and all the rest of it, but you'll find out about his story. So he gets it about what these kids are going through nowadays. So I just wanted to introduce you to Anton and Callum and let him have a little speech and say what he's got to say. But these are the men, these are the ones you want.
So I'm Anton Noble. I'm the leader of Guiding Young Minds, and this is Callum next to me. I've been working with Claire for 2 years now, and I was there mainly in the middle of it, but there was previous stuff that happened before that, but I had to catch up with what happened. And I could tell you, it was the family went through a hard time, to a point where I used to come outside the home and pray before I used to come in the home. And sometimes it would be an argument, sometimes it would be literally the other person was wrong and the other person couldn't see the right. And yeah, it was through tears and very stressful times, to the point where police used to come to the door. I used to get a phone call that he's left, he's missing, he's all that kind of stuff. And I used to get a phone call from mum, and I used to have to chase it up and to find where he is, if he's safe and cool, because sometimes he would only answer to my number. And yeah, it was a great stressful time, but we got through. No, they got through. I was just a person that was here to...
You were my support network.
Yeah.
You was my support. You was my man, my husband, my father, my support worker. He was all those things that you need without being in love. I love Anton, and I think you've got love for me as well, because he gets something out of getting to where I need to be, and I can never ever thank you enough for this shit you put up with, basically. Because it's this. I'm not going to mince my words. This is real shit. This is real life. This happens on a daily basis, and these guys need as much funding as possible. We need money here, there, and everywhere to get this thing across the country, like network everywhere, every borough, every nook and cranny. Yeah, but it is, because, like I just said to you, you could have the multi-million Mr. and Mrs. Jones up the road, but their son, Adam, is a rebel and is going to die. And they need that support. And if it's not given to you, I had to fight for years, didn't I? And then it appeared. But he was always there. But to try and get to it, to access it, is a whole different thing. And so I'm just very grateful. I'm grateful for Jim. I'm grateful for you as a person, because without you as a person, Jim would not be. Because you can have Jim, but not have the person. You have to go that extra mile. And just a little extra snippet about me. I did 7 years of a senior support worker myself, believe it or not, with 16 to 25-year-olds. supported lodgings, but when it's your own child, it's a whole different thing. So I needed that, and it always takes that one person in the company to go that extra mile, because like I said, ticking boxes is all very well, but you need someone to step up and say, right, I am going to email this person, I am going to call this person, I am going to do this for you, and come back to me the week later and say, yeah, I've done it, I've done what you've asked me to do, and get progress from that. So yeah.
And it fulfills my heart to know that they have got to this point, that everything that we all put in together came to the result of this. And even though I'm not fully working with the family no more, I'm still here to check up on them. So, and I think a lot of services, they like to cut off as soon as they've done their job. But you need to know that we're human, and sometimes we may stumble again. So,
because I actually texted you, didn't I?
Yeah.
I actually texted Anton a few weeks ago and went, yo, what, have you forgot about me? What, you just with me and then you just cut off all stems? Because like with social services and all that kind of stuff, they do closed cases. But Anton's got time to come and have a glass of squash with me, then great. Because I still do need that support, because it's very raw for me now, because now I'm going through the next transition in a woman's life. My son is now not at home anymore. So I've kind of been left with, like, imagine a bomb going off in Beirut and then the rubble's left afterwards. That's how I feel. That's the only way I can describe it. And I'm like kind of walking around trying to find myself again. And that's another thing that I probably want to do with you later on, is that women and men, you have different stages of life. And I don't know me. Somebody said to me the other day, what do you like doing? What do you like to do in your spare time? I can't answer them because I don't know. I've spent 16 years of my life, and 5 of those being very hard, about somebody else and about other people and police and authorities and everything else. So I actually don't know myself anymore. And I think it's really important to sort of say that you have to start focusing on yourself at some point, because you will get lost. So luckily I have found another job through COVID. I am still working, but as for my personality, I have to rebuild and gain myself back. And I just think it's really important. And I think this is what these guys do as well, because they challenge you with questions and conversations when the child's not about what are you doing? What are you going to do? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? And it just puts little bits in place to sort of start concentrating on. If that makes any sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You probably don't know, because I'm old enough to be your mum, but you know, we just get to a certain part, you know. And I think these guys, Callum was telling me his story this morning, and I said to Callum, you're from quite an affluent and nice family. And he looked at me, but that's a woman of a certain age, you kind of get the idea. He's got manners, he's well presented, he's really handsome. Look at him. Not that you're not handsome, but, you know, but, and when he told me where he lived, I was like, oh, get you. But he's got a story to tell, but he's made it through. And I sat there this morning, I nearly cried and said to him, do you realise what you put your mum through? Do you have any idea? He's like, yeah. And I think when these guys see someone like me, I have a laugh and I have a joke, but actually I'm very upset, and I'm going to cry now, because it's just so important. You know, people are killing themselves over this stuff. Suicide rate is just massive, you know, and I wouldn't like to think that if I had a partner, the stuff my son put me through, that could have caused domestic violence in my home with my partner, because he probably would have took it out on me. And so the story goes on, and I think people just miss that. I don't think they get it, that it's not just a naughty child. The actual, what's the word I'm looking for? The domino effect, if you like, is massive. And I'm sure you've got a story to tell your parents. 100%. And like I said, I haven't had a boyfriend in 4 years, because there's just I couldn't do it. There's just no way. If I brought a man into the home, my son would have kicked off. And it would have just caused so much pain and heartache. And yeah, there's a lot to be said. But these guys, and I'm not just talking about males, girls as well. You know, if you've got a daughter, I'm more than happy to talk to them and just let them air to me, or, you know, get down with them and hear what they've got to say, and just try and give them a bit of guidance somewhere. because this is about girls and boys, not just boys. I think we have to really get that across as
Yeah,
well.
for sure.
Have you got female workers?
Yeah, we've got female mentors and therapists as well. Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, therapists, brilliant. Therapy is the best thing ever, isn't it?
Yeah.